Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about the 2013 Oscar nominations, which just came out on Thursday, and I'm going to go over them and just kind of to go over the nomination. I think I was most surprised by Amour and Beasts of Southern Wild. I thought Beasts of the Southern Wild would get nominated for Best Picture at least. I didn't expect it to get like director, and I was a little worried about actress, even though I wanted Wazneen Wallace, I hope I say her name right. I wanted her to be in there, but I wasn't sure. I was kind of happy about that. Amour, I was really happy about all the nominations that got. I was kind of shocked at how many Amour got. Like, I was really surprised, like director, and I think that works because Michael Haneke is such a master filmmaker. I was a little surprised that Catherine Bigelow didn't get nominated. I thought Zero Dark 30 was so strong, one of her best directed films. A lot of people are saying it's kind of a sexist thing. I really don't see it that way, although I can understand that. I think it has more to do with the fact that the film features torture in it. If it didn't feature torture in it, I think maybe she actually would have gotten nominated. And same with Quentin Tarantino for Django Unchained. However, I think with Django Unchained, I don't think anyone expected Django to get as many nominations as it did. They should just be happy with what they got, really. And he still got nominated for Best Original Screenplay, but I never really thought he'd get a Best Director nomination. I mean, people say he snubbed it. I just kind of like, hey, they're happy to be there, really. I'm just going to go over various categories and talk about them. Best Directing is interesting, and let me explain how this is interesting, and you'll see. There's two new people, Ben Zatillan, who when they announced, I noticed when they said Ben, everyone thought it was going to be Affleck, who did not get nominated. I'm happy about that because I liked Ben Zatillan's direction in Beasts of the Southern Wild. The only one I'm kind of the most not cool with is David O. Russell. You know, I used to like David O. Russell a lot more than I do now because of Three Kings and I Heart Huckabees. I think I would have preferred Ben Affleck over David O. Russell. I guess that's Harvey Weinstein working his Harvey Weinstein magic over there. Michael Haneke leads a bit of class to Best Director, and Ang Lee, this is his third direction nomination, although he's had 4 pictures up for Best Picture. He wasn't nominated for Sense and Sensibility. Now, this is Steven Spielberg's 7th nomination in this category, 15th nom overall. He has 3 Oscars already, 1 for Best Picture for Schindler's List, 2 for directing, 1 for Schindler's List, 1 for Saving Private Ryan. If he wins, it's pretty possible he will win. If he wins, he will have 3 Best Director Oscars. But there's only 3 directors who have won 3 or more, and the 2 who have also won 3 are Frank Capra and William Wyler, and the only person who will have won more Best Director Oscars than Steven Spielberg will have been John Ford. I think you can debate, is Steven Spielberg worth it? I think influence-wise, I understand why you'd want to give him 3 Oscars. I don't think Lincoln's really his best directed movie, and I kind of prefer someone else would win, but no one's done that in a very long time, and he could be up there. Best Cinematography, this is a big year, I think, for Roger Deakins. He propelled James Bond to his first billion-dollar gross. I think he was probably one of the biggest stars of that film. Most people who, even if you didn't know who Roger Deakins was, you're talking about how amazing the cinematography was in Skyfall, and I'm hoping that he wins this time. Every time Roger Deakins nominated, I think he should win. This is his 10th nomination for Best Cinematography. He really deserves it. They still haven't given it to him, and I think it's kind of a shame. It just doesn't make any sense to me why he hasn't won. He's such a great cinematographer. Also, Seamus McGravy, who's a great cinematographer. He also shot The Avengers this year, and Robert Richardson's nominated again this year. He has 7 previous nominations, and he's won 3 times, and he also won last year for Hugo. I don't like Robert Richardson as much as most people. I can't believe he's always nominated. I just hope that they give it to Roger Deakins. It's probably going to go to the Jaws Kaczynski, or however you say his name, who's Spielberg's frequent cinematographer. He's already won twice. I was a little surprised The Master didn't get nominated for cinematography. It was such a big deal to be shot on 70mm. None of the nominees were shot on film, but The Master was, and it would have been a nice shout out to the end of film. Best Foreign Film, I think Amour will obviously win. Anytime a foreign film is nominated for Best Picture, it's kind of in the bag, the foreign film category for them. It's just like, they're gonna win. I was a little surprised Holy Motors didn't get in there, since it was so critically lauded and talked about, and it could be in there because Amour was, even though it is a film in French, it was submitted as an Austria film, so I think they could have actually gotten Holy Motors in there somehow. And I don't think Canada always gets a film in there. Canada for Best Foreign Film, we're in North America. I don't think Canada should count. I mean, it's great for Canada and all, but like, Stop doing that. I do want to see the film from Norway, Kon-Tiki. I hope I get a chance to see it before the Oscars. Best animated feature, I think it's pretty obvious. Wreck-It Ralph's gonna win. Wreck-It Ralph was probably the best of those films. It's the film I like the most. I do like Frankenweenie. Disney actually had 3 films in there: Frankenweenie, Wreck-It Ralph, and Brave, which is pretty remarkable that they could, and they're all like kind of different ends of the Disney animation spectrum. Pirates, Aardman is always up for an Oscar. I mean, they're a very Academy favorite, but Peter Lord, interesting fact, who's up for the Pirates, has never won an Oscar himself. Nick Park has won all the Oscars. He's won 4 for Aardman. And Aardman, you know, they're very loved by the Academy, so that might help them out a little bit. Pirates really wasn't my favorite, but it is interesting to see 3 stop-motion films in there. I don't know if that's ever happened before. I should have probably looked that up. It kind of helped stop motion out. They had a rough year. They didn't do great at the box office, but they got 3 slots in Best Animated Feature. I thought that worked out for them. The Secret World of Arrietty was actually ineligible because it came out so long ago in Japan before it got released in America. So I wish Disney had worked that out. That's probably why Studio Ghibli is no longer involved with Disney, because they botched that one up. Best Supporting Actress. Everyone in this category has been nominated before. A lot of them first in this category. Some have won. Sally Field, this is the first time she's been nominated for Best Supporting Actress. Anne Hathaway has been nominated before. She was nominated for Rachel Getting Married, and this is her first time in that category. And Helen Hunt, who's already won, and this is her first time in that category. It's more surprising Sally Field. She's never been in Supporting Actress before, and this is only her 3rd nomination. The other times she's been nominated, she has won. So I kind of want her to win just so you could hear the "you like me, you really like me" speech again. But everyone thinks it's going to be Anne Hathaway. Probably will. I like that Jackie Weaver got in there again. But Amy Adams, this is her 4th nomination in this category. She's only ever been nominated in this category. And that makes her tied with 6 other women, including Maggie Smith, who have been nominated 4 times in Best Supporting Actress. The only actress who has more than 4 Best Supporting Actress nominations throughout their career is Thelma Ritter. So the fact that Amy Adams is so young, she could eventually get that, or at least clear 2nd place and get 5 at some point. But it's really cool that she hasn't been around that long and she's already gotten that many Oscar nominations, especially in Best Supporting Actress. It's pretty remarkable. Best Supporting Actor is a little dull because everyone's won before. Everybody. In fact, a lot of them in this category. The only one who has not won in this category is Philip Seymour Hoffman, but it is his 3rd nomination in this category, so I guess he's used to losing because he probably will. But Tommy Lee Jones is probably going to take it just because of all the Lincoln love. But the interesting thing is this is the first time Robert De Niro has been nominated since 1992, which was for Cape Fear. And this is the first time he's been nominated in this category since 1975 when he won for Godfather Part 2. Now, here's another bit of Oscar history which will be interesting. If Robert De Niro wins, he will tie both Walter Brennan and Jack Nicholson for being an actor who's won the most acting Oscars ever. Now, the person who's won the most acting Oscars is actually Katharine Hepburn, but he will be, as a man, he will tie and be up there with Jack Nicholson and Walter Brennan. I don't think he'll actually win. My biggest snub in that category in Best Supporting Actor is I would have liked John Goodman to have been nominated, because I love John Goodman, and he was really great in Flight and in Argo. Best Screenplay Adapted, more new people from Silver Linings Playbook, Beasts of the Southern Wild, and Argo are all people who have never been nominated before, and the other 2, Tony Kirshner for Lincoln and David McGee for Life of Pi, have only have 1 previous nomination each. Everyone in this category is a little newer than the other categories I've noticed. I think Lincoln will probably win. It would be nice if Life of Pi had won, because I really like Life of Pi. There was such a big deal over the fact that it was so unfilmable. You'd think that'd give it an advantage, but I think this is kind of like going to end up being part of the Lincoln tally as the night goes on, unfortunately. Best Original Screenplay. This one's a little more up in the air than Best Adapted Screenplay, because a lot of people who are nominated Best Adapted Screenplay, those are films that have a lot of nominations, but Best Original Screenplay, not as much. Zero Dark 30 could take it, Amore could take it. It's a little more open. I wasn't necessarily surprised about Tarantino. One of the interesting things about Best Original Screenplay is that Roman Coppola, who is nominated for Moonrise Kingdom, despite being a Coppola, and the Coppolas have actually had 3 generations of Oscar winners, Roman Coppola's never been nominated before. This is his first nomination. So the Coppolas still got in there this year, and it would be nice if Wes Anderson won. He's been nominated before in this category twice, but it would be nice if he won, but who knows, probably not. Best Actress, we have the youngest nominee ever in Quasinine Wallace, and the oldest nominee with Emmanuelle Riva. She's 85 now. Emmanuelle Riva's birthday is actually the date of the Oscars in which she'll turn 86. However, the oldest acting nominee ever is Gloria Stewart for Titanic, and she was 87, so she's only like a year away from that. Everyone's saying it's going to be Jennifer Lawrence. This is her second nomination in this category. Nobody in this category has won, which is the only category in all the acting categories where you have someone who has not won before. This is a little more competitive, and there's a little more riding on this for all these people, which is a little more interesting, a little more fun. In Best Actor, you have two big titans, but you also have two. Bradley Cooper I was surprised by. Hugh Jackman, I love Hugh Jackman. I did think he did a good job, so it's nice, but I don't think he's gonna win or anything. Joaquin Phoenix, this is his third time being nominated, and he's only been nominated in this category. I thought he had won before. I actually think I said on Twitter that he'd won, and he didn't win because I thought he won for Walk the Line. I go, oh, who did beat him? And then I looked it up, and it was actually Philip Seymour Hoffman, which is kind of interesting. It was a little funny. I didn't realize that before. This is Denzel Washington's 6th nomination, 4th time in this category, which is an insane run for anybody. I don't think he'll win. Daniel Day-Lewis, this is his 5th nomination in this category. He's already won twice. He could do the similar thing to Robert De Niro in that if he wins 3 times, he will be in there with Jack Nicholson and Walter Brennan and have 3 acting Oscars, and he will be in a group of 3 guys who have 3 acting Oscars. But here's where it gets even crazier. So the most Best Actor nominations that any guy has won is 2. Daniel Day-Lewis has only been nominated for Best Actor. So, and the other 2 people who have won 3 acting Oscars who are guys, Jack Nicholson, who won 2 Best Actor Oscars and won 1 Best Supporting Actor Oscar, and Walter Brennan, who's won 3 Best Supporting Actor Oscars. So if Daniel Day-Lewis wins Best Actor, he will, this is totally, I looked this all up, if Daniel Day-Lewis has 3 Best Actor Oscars, he will have more Best Actor Oscars than anyone ever. No one has won as many Best Actor Oscars as Daniel Day-Lewis if he wins for Lincoln. There's not that many people who've done that, even who are female. The only other people who've done that are Ingrid Bergman and Meryl Streep. Meryl Streep has 3, Ingrid Bergman has 3, and Katharine Hepburn would still have the most acting Oscars ever with 4, but the fact that he's gonna have 3 and no one's ever done that ever is amazing. That's an amazing feat. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, really? He's gonna have 3? No one ever. It's like saying he's the best actor ever. Because I feel like people feel that way with Katharine Hepburn. I like Daniel Day-Lewis, but I don't know if it's like, it really could possibly happen because I think he has a really good chance. Frankly, I like Joaquin Phoenix the most of the nominees, but I don't think he'll win. The one thing I haven't really talked about Best Picture, I still think Lincoln's gonna win, but I'm going to actually give you my countdown of how I rank the Best Picture nominees. I'm going to go from worst to best. Now, the worst Oscar Best Picture nominee I picked, number 9, was Les Mis. I didn't really like the direction very much, the way that the live singing, I thought it was awful. Then you have Lincoln at 8. I don't know, it was a little too messy. The structure really wasn't there. I would have preferred they just stick to the 13th Amendment nonsense. Number 7, Silver Linings Playbook. It is a very nice romantic comedy, and I recommend it if you like romantic comedies. There aren't very many good romantic comedies, and it's a genre that's in a lot of trouble. So if you like it, I do recommend it, but the way you use the camera at the beginning was like, what's going on? I didn't really like it. Number 6 is Argo. I do like Argo. I think I don't particularly like how they portray the people living in Iran. They kind of make them out to be a little too one-dimensional, but the whole thriller angle of it I thought was very well directed, and I really liked it. Number 5, I'd go with Django Unchained. It wasn't Tarantino's best or anything, but it was still fun, big, bloody spaghetti western. Now, the rest you can probably figure out if you know my top films of the year list, but I'll count them down. I'm not going to really talk about them too much. Number 4, I'd go with Life of Pi. Number 3, Beasts of the Southern Wild. Number 2, Zero Dark 30. And number 1, I really have to say the best film to see from the Best Picture nominees is Amour. I'd highly recommend Amour. If you can get a chance to see it, please do. But I know Zero Dark 30 is probably a little more available to most of you. That's what I think of the Oscar nominations. I just wanted to clue you guys in on some of the Oscar history. I will continue to cover the Oscars. I'll do a predictions closer to the actual awards because things can change. I mean, look at Argo. So if you would like to talk about the Oscar nominations, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.